Today, I'm excited to welcome to our YouTube show Rachael, who's the Director of Business Development for Flatirons Recovery, and to hear her thoughts on the unique services Flatirons Recovery offers. Rachael, welcome. So glad you're here.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be here.
This has been, I think, quite the week for you. I don't know that we'll spend too much time, but it's been quite eventful with the enormous kind of tragic fire that happened last week. How did that
Yeah,
impact you guys?
yeah, it has. It's sure been a whirlwind. We our house was evacuated, and we were so fortunate to have so much support in the recovery community. We had North Point Recovery took us in to sort of take care of us while we were evacuated. We've had a lot of other treatment centers bringing by food and checking in with us, and it's been really it's been beautiful to just feel the support. And we're kind of trying to, since we're still standing, organize some long-term support for our community as well, with some free support groups, free acupuncture, on an ongoing basis. So in the process of all that right now.
So that those support functions and services are through your through Flatirons Recovery?
Yep.
Okay.
So the 3 days following the fires, we had drop-in all day acupuncture
Ah,
support groups with therapists, coaches, snacks, a little place where people could drop off warm clothing donations. And
okay.
we spent the weekend doing that. And now we're really realizing the need is there longer term. So we're going to harness that, all the clinicians we have who are really excited and wanting to give to the community in need right now, and developing
That's
hopefully a
great.
weekly drop-in. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was been quite the event, and the story seems to really just keep continually unfolding with more information, more news. But I'm glad you guys survived. But I know it was quite the event. So to get us started with our podcast today, Rachael, maybe you could tell us a little about yourself and what it is you're doing in the treatment industry.
Absolutely. So, I'm actually a clinician by background, and I got into the whole mental health realm just from, going through both in my family and through my own personal experiences, um, overcoming some really difficult times, a lot of trauma. I did lose my father to addiction when I was a teenager. And so, I started in that realm, in the clinical realm, to kind of find a way to help other people on their healing journey. And I was really fortunate in that to get the experience to do quite a bit of healing myself. I was trained at Naropa University, which is
Mhm.
a Buddhist influenced university, where we spent months literally of our program on meditation retreat and on digging
Mhm.
down deep into our own, um, I don't want to call them demons, but into all the nooks and crannies that are hard to face, and sitting in the fire, as we call it, of difficult emotions. And so I know firsthand the power of mindfulness and meditation in healing from some of these, uh, really awful things that trauma can be, or excuse me, that addiction can be a coping mechanism for, such as
Yeah,
trauma.
yeah.
So, I um, getting into Flatirons, it's been cool to be in a different kind of uh, a role, to be reaching out more to the community, and sort of seeing what needs are out there, and collaborating with other individuals such as yourselves. We have so much respect for All Points North, and they take a really holistic approach to care as well. So it's been really cool to connect with other people who are passionate about the same thing. And
That's great. I think that's a common thread, and that we find is that most of us working in this field, there's some personal connection, some personal experience that has kind of guided us or propelled us into this area and actually trying to, support and help others. So, how did you specifically maybe get involved with Flatirons Recovery? Can I
No,
ask?
it's funny. It started with well, my husband's the executive and clinical director, and it started with wanting to help decorate the house and
He's a good
and
decorator, huh?
sort of take a load off of him by getting the Instagram up and running. And I'm a creative person by background, so I started with these little things. I started with website content and blogging, and I just as a joke actually put on LinkedIn, oh, I'm director of business development, and then people started calling, so I started making friends. And
And you became one, yeah.
yeah, I got really into it. I had taken a step back from working to be at home with my kids, and I love this role so much. I realized how much I missed being in the mental health world and helping people in that way, and just really loved what we were doing, and got to kind of contribute to the birth of this organization and bringing a really different approach to healing. So I it snowballed from there, and now I'm full in it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
great. That's interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So what is it? So it's kind of a diverse and unique and creative background. So
Yeah.
what would you say you're most passionate about in the field?
Yeah, for me, the holistic approach to care, which, yes, that means bringing things like acupuncture and meditation, which have healed, and helped to heal me, into it, is a huge part of it. But it also means healing the whole person. And I think something that, we're really passionate about at Flatirons is looking deeper into what's the underlying root of substance use disorder and mental health symptoms like depression and anxiety, and really trying to heal on a deeper level, in a compassionate and what we call a strengths-based way. So helping clients to connect with their own inner wisdom and guides, and their own strengths as part of their healing journey, rather than just applying a formula and fixing people. Or you can't fix people, right? Because they're not broken, but saying that that's what we're doing. I'm really passionate about that viewpoint, about looking at the little things, whether you know they're considered some major traumatic event, or maybe just difficult experiences throughout life that accumulate to the same symptoms as trauma in that way. And really helping people, yeah, find peace at a deep core level.
So this is kind of another way around that question because you're kind of addressing it, but what would you describe as kind of the if there is a typical but a general client that might or individual that might want to reach out to you? What do they kind of look like, or what's maybe going on
Sure.
generally?
Yeah, one thing we do a little bit differently is that we do see folks for a whole array of issues, not just substance use disorder. So, um, people who maybe don't fit into the traditional box of, oh, my life is in shambles because of addiction and I need to go to rehab. Um, but that, are struggling in all sorts of different ways, and just need to take some time and space to develop a really meaningful healing process. We're super small, so we're only 9 beds in our facility. So I think a lot of our clients do come to us who really benefit from more individualized, small scale care, and maybe have more unique needs that require uh, just more individualized support. Um, and other than that, we get folks, I think, because we meet people where we're at in that sense, we really do work with a wide range of people, because um, we're trying to kind of find a program that suits each individual, right?
Mm.
So we get some people who, really resonate with the meditation piece and really love that. We get others who really don't in the beginning, but we're able to kind of connect them to ways that it might benefit them, and then also help connect them to what does make them come alive and what can heal them. And we sort of have that space with the small census to kind of work people's programs in that way.
Yeah, I've been to your space, and it's really a nice, inviting, warm, and welcoming um, spot. But when you mentioned you were 9 beds, so maybe you could tell us a little bit, like what exact services that Flatirons that you guys are offering.
Absolutely. So yeah, in the house, with the 9 beds, that's actually, a structured housing program for clients who are in our PHP, which is partial hospitalization, or IOP, intensive outpatient program. So that house is men only. It is on a 80-acre horse farm, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and it's a great, it's a little bit more flexible than your traditional residential program. We're out in the world a little bit more. It's more emulating life in recovery. So, clients cook for themselves with support. We do quite a bit of that, helping with those who that's a problem with. We're going out to the gym, we're going bowling on the weekends, we're doing a lot in nature, going out on hikes a lot, we're paddleboarding and fishing and things like that. So it's much more out in the world as opposed to in one specific place, but it is highly structured with 24-hour support for those clients who are doing our partial hospitalization program. And then they get 30 hours a week of strictly clinical treatment. So that's kind of outside all those other things. They're getting group therapy, individual therapy, appointments with our integrative psychiatrist, uh, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. We have
I
our
love that.
intensive outpatient as well. Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I love structured living as a service, just because it helps people continue. If they're involved with an IOP type program or a PHP type program, they're continuing, that personal work, and they're practicing, getting their train on the track and keeping their train on the track, and it really takes time actually to, get a feeling of what life is like without this, and a healthier kind of day-to-day lifestyle rather than the old lifestyle. So I
Definitely.
love that I think, years ago I didn't even know about that existed. And I'm so glad it does, because I really think it's a critical part to help people be successful in their recovery. Um,
Mhm.
so, well, anything else you want to add, Rachel, before we wrap up?
Just that like I said, I just really appreciate this opportunity. I really appreciate you all at All Points North, and just being part of partnership with you guys. I think you have such an amazing facility. I love how holistic and how many different angles you take to healing up there, and how much love and care has been put into your beautiful space. So it means a lot to be able to kind of work with you all, and take your clients after they've maybe been in residential care with you, and help them with the next step. So we're just so
Oh,
glad
thank
to
you.
be in the community with you all, and
Thank you.
appreciate you, Mark.
Likewise, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you, Rachel, and really getting a feel for, the type of people that you and Mark, the executive director, kind of folks you guys are, and really you kind of lead with your heart and your head, but it really is a really quality program and services that you offered. So thanks so much, Rachel, for coming on today and talking with us. That is all the time we have. I look forward to hearing more about Flatirons Recovery in the future. We'll sign off this episode with peace and gratitude, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Okay, that's
Appreciate you.
it. All
Bye.
right.